Welcome to the Sports Carnival, broadcasting live from the Trauma Center studio, powered by the Recovery Room. I am Dave, and that is Matt, the owner of the Recovery Room. And I will start off this morning's program with a very obvious prediction. Cocaine Bear will be worth more to the Chicago Bears than the number one draft pick, as Jalen Carter is in now some really big trouble. They might as well just go ahead and draft Cocaine Bear this morning to play fullback, to play center, to maul the opposition. Matt, top of the morning. You had an interesting day yesterday, didn't you? You were working a lot. You were roughing up your toe. You were overcoming a really, really wicked hangover. How you feeling this morning, man?
I'm better today, man. It's just trying to get ready for the day. Let's get the party started. Much better today, my friend. And right there with you, I don't know, Cocaine Bear might be better for a lot of this kid on a lot of teams, not just the Chicago Bears.
Well, there is going to be a real possibility of Jalen Carter being a resident of some state of the union for some time, if in fact the allegations against him turn out to be true. Wicked stuff, man. I'm no legal expert, but I've been watching a lot of combine stuff, a lot of ESPN stuff, and a lot of different Fox Sports News reporting, and Jalen Carter seems to be in potentially a whole lot of trouble. We'll see what happens with this. One thing I do know for sure, if you're a good enough football player and there is any possible way to get you out of legal consequence, an NFL team, not every NFL team, but an NFL team will do something to get you onto their squad.
Just look at Deshaun Watson.
Well, exactly. And he's not even nearly probably at this point in time the kind of prospect that Jalen Carter is. Either way, it's going to be interesting. And I will say this, at the Recovery Room, 7th and Mississippi, by the way, back open today at 11 with yours truly behind the bar. It's going to be a great day. At the Recovery Room, two topics of conversation that have been really hot this week, and I mean really hot, have been the NFL Scouting Combine, something we affectionately refer to as the Underwear Olympics, Matt, and the movie Cocaine Bear. As a matter of fact, our friend Greg, former friend Greg, in some respects, I suppose, I even saw him yesterday come into the bar. They took Rick to see that movie, Cocaine Bear.
Nice. Well, yes. I'm sure we'll get some good reviews from the boys. I'm not sure what frame of mind they were in when they went, but I'm sure we'll get some good reviews.
Happy moods.
Yes,
happy. Sure. And if we know anything about our friend Greg, he's one of the most jubilant, one of the most joyous, one of the most loving, kind, warm, open, responsive individuals you'll ever meet. Speaking of warm, kind, loving, open, and responsive, the Recovery Room wants to see you down at our place at some point in the near future, because we're going to give you a $20 gift certificate. Now, last week, Eagle McBride,
Neil Dudo,
won our gift certificate. That was the week before. So Neil won week 1. Eagle won week 2. Now, perhaps you're going to win week 3. You've still got about 27 minutes in which you can get up, take this little registration soiree on, and there's a couple of different things you can do to give yourself different levels of registration. You go to our Facebook page, you go to our YouTube page, follow the link, go to our social media feeds at the Sports Carney on Twitter, or if you're a member of the Facebook group page, I reposted that this morning. I also posted it on on my regular Facebook profile. So if you're a friend of mine, if you're a member of the Facebook group, go ahead and click on one of these links and get yourself registered. We'll draw the winner live here on air right about 8:30. And that, of course, is going to coincide this morning, Matt, with another guest. We're going to be talking to Koelbl from One Trust Real Estate, the official real estate partner of the program, and former UWL Eagle football player here on the show. It should be fun. And we do have one of our Facebook group users saying, good morning and happy Friday. Good morning to you.
That is Steve Millay checking in with us.
Steve Millay.
And I am very excited to talk to Kyle a little bit later today. It's always going to be a good talk with Kyle, and we have plenty of things to go over. So that's looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. We've got a lot to go over, including the subject of this morning's poll question, Matt, at the Sports Carney on Twitter, and of course on our Facebook group page. I know this might seem like a crazy question, but it's not. And I want to get into this a little bit later. Who gives the Packers the best shot to win a Super Bowl? Is it Aaron Rodgers? Is it Jordan Love? Is it another quarterback? Go to our Facebook group page or to our Twitter feed and take this morning's poll question. We're going to dive into some of what we saw last night from the Wisconsin Badgers. The Badgers men's basketball team loses by 2 points to Purdue, 63-61. The women's basketball team loses by 2 points to Purdue, 57-55. We've got NFL grades that we didn't go over, Matt, a couple of days back. We've got the Major League Baseball pitch clock, which is actually getting people who are not even baseball fans kind of interested to see what this thing looks like. And then, of course, we've got the Bucs, according to multiple reports, being really close to signing Goran Dragic, who was being waived by the Chicago Bulls. The Bucks have a big game coming up against the Sixers on Saturday. That's going to be a nationally televised spot on ABC, 7:30 p.m. here in the Central Time Zone. So you're right. There is a lot to cover. I see Mike Byers is checking in. Happy Friday, boys and girls. And world traveler Gus Fimple checking in this morning. Friday senior.
Very nice.
Indeed. All right, guys and gals. Well, let's do this. We'll step aside, take a really quick break. Again, the Recov today starting at 11 o'clock will feature me behind the bar and perhaps you coming for some great lunch. We've got a fantastic lineup today. Spicy or traditional Euro. Your choice aside, $14. Also, the Friday fish special for those that are on Lent. 2 pieces, Cajun, grilled, or batter fried. Plus, you get a side, a dinner roll. It's going to be fantastic. And it's a great looking Friday outside. It's supposed to be really warm. Stay tuned. We're back in about 60 seconds. What can I say? The Recovery Room on 7th and Mississippi Street is not only my favorite bar in all of downtown La Crosse, Wisconsin, it's my favorite restaurant in all of downtown La Crosse, Wisconsin. Breakfast served 8 to noon, Saturday and Sundays, daily specials, incredible cocktails, and the best damn wait staff in the entire city. My buddy Matt knows how to treat you right, and that's why when you go to the Recovery Room on 7th and Mississippi, you're always going to have a great time and a great meal with a great cocktail. So if you haven't been in a while, or perhaps you're just a regular and you want to stop in again, make it a thing. I'm there every single week. How about you?
Coming to the Discovery Channel this fall, living with a Confederate.
Hi, my name is Travis Tay. A lot of folks around here call me Tay-Tay. Yeah, I share a house with my second cousin. Name's Chandler. He's what some folks around here call eccentric. Why, hello there. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Chandler Worthington III, and I must admit, them Northerners, they get under my skin. Make me hot under the collar, you know, with all that northern aggression and everything. I always say, you boys just keep your Yankee doodles out of my sweet potato pie. At least for now, anyway. That's my little joke. I mean, stars and bars may fill my heart, but hopefully, a chiseled chin and a barreled chest fills my loins. See what I'm saying? I gotta deal with that 24/7. I'm getting the vapors just thinking about them northerners coming down here on their big old steeds.
Confederate.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Sports Carnival, broadcasting live from the Trauma Center studio, powered by the Recovery Room. Also wants to say what's up to our good friends at Preferred Insurance, the official insurance provider of the program. Tony and Brian downtown on 4th and King in La Crosse get you the best deals from all the biggest national carriers. Matter of fact, Matt, I had a quote the other day, and looking at getting myself and John, my 18-year-old son, who I'll still put on my insurance because it's way cheaper for him.
You're such a good dad, though, man.
Thank you. Combined up with Anthony over at Preferred Insurance for, again, a really good rate. Hopefully, it's going to be a big discount for me. Give him a call, go online, or go down and see him. Again, 4th and King Street. Get yourself a quote today. We'll have some links pretty soon to be able to share with you. Mike Byers is asking us this, trying to enter where? Sports Carnival or Recovery Room on Facebook. If you're a member of the group page, Mike, which you are, you'll see the post that I just reposted this morning. If you're a friend of mine on Facebook, you'll also see that I posted it. So go to either my Facebook profile or go to the Sports Carnival group page, and you'll see a little picture. It's a graphic. As a matter of fact, it looks like this. And Mike, you'll see this graphic, and there's a link that's actually in the body of the post. You'll go ahead and click that link and get yourself registered to win. But thanks for checking in. Mike, of course, checking in from YouTube, and is our favorite Texan in Wisconsin. At least that's the nickname that we give him. This is interesting. I told you about this. I don't think we had a chance to tell Mike, but now that he's listening and watching, we'll let him in on this. On Monday night, bingo on Monday night, we had our biggest bingo crowd yet. It's awesome. If you haven't come to bingo yet, sincerely, you're missing out. And come this next upcoming Monday, and you'll see what it's all about. Point is, there was a group of girls that were like, is Mike Byers here? And I was like, wait, what? Is Mike Byers here? And they're like, yeah, is Mike Byers here? And I'm like, all right, well, seriously, tell me, why are you related to him? They're like, no, he bought us all our drinks last time. Boom. Mike, get back down to the Recovery Room. You are wanted. You are needed. These girls need their free drinks from Mike Byers. So I'm just going to say Mike got a specific name shout out the other night. It was pretty epic.
I forgot you brought that up. It made me chuckle too. I just wanted to make sure we were talking about this. There's nothing, Mike, I do love you, but I was a little confused on that one for a little second.
You think I was going to throw you a super curveball or something?
No, I just didn't know. I didn't know. I just didn't think it was going to be Mike, I guess, is what you was going to go with
gotcha.
that. So that's where I was going with it.
Okay. Well, it was. We have we have Kyle Morning Wood popping up here. Mike Byers equals Larry Flint. That's actually not the way we spell Byers, Byars, but good try. Mike Byers and Larry Flint. I think Mike would like that as long as he didn't have to get stuck in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Right? Like, isn't that that's something I think Mike would probably want to go without. Not that there's anything wrong with being differently abled. I'm just saying, as a choice of the whole thing, I think if you asked anybody who couldn't walk if they would rather walk, they'd probably say yes.
I agree with you on that too.
Okay.
100%. And I wonder what the reaction would have been if you would have told me it would have been Kyle that was getting the name drop instead of Mike Byers. So it probably, I don't know how that would have gone either. So
well, Kyle gets a lot of name drops too at the recovery room. As a matter of fact, when it comes to Badgers and basically anything to do with the Badgers, Kyle's, his name is mentioned. By the way, the Badgers lose both men's and women's basketball last night, guys, by 2 points in each game. The women are already playing in the conference tournament. Purdue goes on to win 57-55. The men, of course, had a big opportunity to make a real push for one of their final 4 spots, or one of the final 4 spots into the NCAA March Madness tournament, which right now it looks like, or at least it did before last night, it looked like they were on that bubble for being one of the final 4 teams in. I think this loss to Purdue last night, 63-61, might have pushed them out. And perhaps, just perhaps, Matty Ice is going to be right, and the Badgers don't make it. I'm still holding out hope. There's still the Big Ten tournament. But like I said, last night was a big spot.
Well, and they were in the game down the stretch the entire way.
They were in the game the whole game.
They just couldn't make a damn shot at the end of the game, and Purdue Boilermakers made their free throws. So that's basically what happened at the end of the game. It was sad to watch because they had chances. They had their opportunities. It was definitely a thrilling end to what was a really good game, but they couldn't pull it out in the end.
No, and Zach Edey for Purdue is just so hard to deal with. He's so huge. And I think he had 17 points, 19 rebounds. I don't have his stats right in front of me now, but he was really tough to deal with. Speaking of tough to deal with, this guy, Aaron Rodgers, very tough to deal with for a lot of us Packer fans. And I know that you're probably tired of talking about Aaron Rodgers. I understand, but feel me and hear me out on this particular point that I want to make, because Jeff Zelke has already checked in. And Jeff, I'll put your comment up here in just a second. Aaron Rodgers, at this point in his career, is a good but not great quarterback. Okay, he's still very good. He is not great. We're not looking at Aaron Rodgers, and we shouldn't be, in the same respects as we look at Joe Burrows or Patrick Mahomes or Justin Herbert or perhaps Trevor Lawrence, even Lamar Jackson, okay? And as much as we like Aaron and love him for what he's done for the Packers in years past, he's not that guy anymore. He's going to be 40 years old coming up here, okay? Father Time, look at LeBron James, is undefeated in every single way, shape, or form. There's no way to get around this. But the question that I've got for you this morning is, who gives the Packers a better shot to win a Super Bowl right now? Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, or a different QB? Now, I'm not surprised, Matt, on our Twitter feed anyways, 70% of respondents are still saying Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I'm one of them. So
okay. And our Facebook group page, 70% are saying Aaron Rodgers. 20% a different quarterback, 10% for Love. Love getting 25% of the votes here on Twitter. The reason that I want to make a counter argument, and I'm going to put up Jeff Zelke's comment while we do this. The reason that I want to make a counter argument to Aaron Rodgers is this. When posed the question, who gives the Packers a better shot to win a Super Bowl, Rodgers or Love? The reason that I say Love right now is because we have seen what Rodgers can do right now. He has not won a Super Bowl since 2010. That's 13 years and counting. Last season, when given the opportunity to beat a Lions team at home to go to the playoffs, he couldn't do it. Year before, he couldn't score more than 8 points against San Francisco. Year before that, completely collapses against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home, at Lambeau. I'm running out of excuses and reasons to tell myself that the Packers are better off with Aaron Rodgers. Now, conversely, the Philadelphia Eagles have been to 2 Super Bowls in the last 5 years with guys on rookie contracts. One of the guys that won the Super Bowl was a fucking bench player, but they had Carson Wentz on a rookie deal. Same with Jalen Hurts.
Right.
Blake Bortles nearly got the Jaguars to a Super Bowl a couple of years back. He's out of the league now.
Right.
Jared Goff's been to a Super Bowl. Matt Stafford's won a Super Bowl. This all in the time in which Aaron Rodgers has not been back to one. So because of that, and I agree with with Jeff here, it's Jordan Love right now because the model of Rodgers getting the bag of loot and choking only worked once. He sucked off a leprechaun that year. Jeff, that's exactly what happened. We know that fellatio and leprechauns did happen with Aaron Rodgers. It's actually one of the things that we weren't supposed to talk about this morning because contractually we're forbidden from talking about Aaron and leprechaun fellatio. But we're going there because Jeff brought it up. That's right. It only worked once. And I just don't think that Rodgers at 40 gives you a better shot to win a Super Bowl right now than Jordan Love. And the reason that I say that is because of what we have seen in recent history. Outside of Patrick Mahomes, there isn't another QB making the type of money that Rodgers is that goes to and or wins a Super Bowl. Joe Burrow, rookie contract, goes to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Matt Stafford had some sort of contract that was at least in way, shape, or form similar to Rodgers.
Russell Wilson back in the day.
Well, Russell Wilson, 2 Super Bowls, rookie contract. The idea that you can win without a Rodgers is something that I think now more and more we can look at with examples and point to and say, yeah, you can win without this guy. The reason that I don't think that Rodgers is better as far as who is the best QB to win a Super Bowl right now is purely because we have seen him not be that guy. With Jordan Love, we don't know. So to me, I'm saying pivot. You've got a rookie contract. You can maybe make some more moves. The Packers are so woefully over the cap. It would be difficult anyways, but they're trying to move in that direction. I think that for a lot of reasons, as much as Rodgers has done for the team and as great as he is, don't take anything away from him. This thing has just run its course. And now I think you look at Love and the team buy-in and the way that he would probably run LaFleur's offense a lot more like Matt LaFleur would like. I think you've got a better option there.
My biggest problem that I have, and the reason I did vote for Rodgers, just based on familiarity. That is it. That is the only reason that I chose him with that. He knows the talent. He's been there. He's been there his entire career. My biggest problem, and I've said this numerous times, is I don't want him in my locker room just because of the way he acts, the diva-ness of him as well. And the biggest problem with Aaron Rodgers is his fucking contract. That's why they're strapped. I mean, this is one of the stupidest decisions that I could say for that. An aging quarterback, as you brought up, was almost damn near 40. The Packers could be using that money in a lot of different ways to be having a much more rounded team. And they don't have that team with Aaron Rodgers' contract. And that's my biggest problem.
Well, this is why we don't see quarterbacks who take up more than 18% of the total team cap win Super Bowls traditionally. Like I've mentioned, Patrick Mahomes this year, yes, he did become one of those rare examples. Peyton Manning, when he was with the Denver Broncos, similar. But for the most part, you don't see that. You got guys like Tom Brady that take less. Even Patrick Mahomes, for what it's worth, did take less than what the market would potentially bear. And he used a 10-year contract to be able to give the Chiefs more flexibility. Yep. I want to touch on something, though, real quick, because I wasn't sure he was going to check back in. I thought maybe we had gotten into a little scuffle yesterday and he wasn't coming back. Rob Dog from Stoddard says, Dave, aren't we all getting tired of this Rodgers saga? Also, yes, someone actually did piss in his Honey Nut Cheerios yesterday. Screw them. Rob was in a little bit of a feisty mood. And I asked him, who pissed in your Cheerios, Rob? Somebody did. That's not good. Rob works at a hospital here in town. And I have heard from time to time people like P12 Foreman and or others, possibly Amish, that are vagabonds wandering aimlessly, camping in the hospitals, pissing Cheerios. That is something that I have heard.
It sounds like he's having a better morning this morning. So at least you got that going for you today, Rob. So
Rob, confirm or deny that it was Amish that pissed in your Cheerios. You know I don't trust those people. You know I don't. I find them to be very off-putting. It's like I saw that movie Children of the Corn in 1984, and I'll never forget. That's my overall feeling and takeaway of the Amish. Well, and very scared. You make good cabinets, but very scared.
When you talked with Chad and about how you help kind of procreate, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't like to be inbreed as much. So I don't know if you've ever been by what is it? They hang over at the door. Or
I've heard about like that. P12 Foreman was talking about one of his friends who did that apparently and got paid for it. Apparently.
Oh boy.
That's what we call the rumor. That's why we have Foreman on as the official rumor of the program. All right. Breacher is checking in once again. And Jason P1 Breacher is asking the question, are we not going to mention how his hairstyle is getting worse? And I think he is talking about Aaron Rodgers.
I believe so.
I didn't realize that his hairstyle was getting worse. That's one of the things that I just don't compute really. So what do we mean
I haven't
worse?
seen him before he went into his little shelter. So I don't know. I'm guessing he didn't shave, and I don't know if he was in for all 4 days, but yeah, I have no idea.
I mean, what kind of hairstyle?
I can't be worse than his Nicolas Cage hairstyle. I like the bald man. I look like a Q-tip, so that's why I'm keeping my head on.
You look like a Q-tip?
Yeah, I got to shave down, man.
Show us.
It's been going for too long. My mom said she liked my hair with it the other day. We went out for dinner. I'm like, nah, this thing's got to go. This is just getting to me.
Well, go ahead and join the Bit Club. I think
I'll get there, brother. I trust me. I try to do it every once in a while, but sometimes it's just getting up early in the morning. It's rough for me to do to get the whole shave down the entire time. We have Jeff Schneider checking in with us as well on Facebook. You're saying it's the Rodgers contract is the fault of the front office.
Yeah.
When are we going to start putting some blame on them?
Well,
I think we did blame Goody a lot yesterday too, as well. So
here's something interesting though. And Jeff, I'm glad that you bring this up. You and I, Matt, talked about this off air, and you'd asked the question, and we've talked about this particular subject on the program a number of times, and even on my former radio show. Do the Packers really lose by not having, in certain ways, do the Packers lose by not having a single owner at the helm, right? And not in all respects does that make a huge difference in how the Packers operationally manage themselves, because Mark Murphy does a fine job. By all accounts, he really does.
And Ball does a hell of a job with the contracts for the most part.
Absolutely. But there is something to be said, Jeff, about management and specifically ownership when it comes to Aaron Rodgers and this contract thing. So the way that I looked at it was sort of like this. And I say this as somebody who loves Wisconsin, moved here 6 years ago, never wants to leave as a full-time resident. I want to leave during the winter at some point, but never as a full-time resident. I love Wisconsin. But my point that I was going to make is this. People in Wisconsin are crazy fans for the Green Bay Packers. Crazy fans for the Green Bay Packers. I felt that for a couple of years, guys like Brian Gutekunst, Russ Ball, Mark Murphy would have been quartered and flogged if they would have tried to get Aaron Rodgers out of town, roped and taken out of town by bandits, because that's how crazy Packer fans were. Uh-oh. Well, that's an interesting sound.
Yeah, wow. That's a new one.
Yeah, that was interesting. All right. I thought that Packer fans would actually carry these guys out of Green Bay by their feet on ropes, like sticks, like we saw in the 1800s, possibly tar and feather them. I felt like the Packers were basically hamstrung by Aaron Rodgers, his fame, and what it is that he, quote unquote, meant to the team. Therefore, I believe that they overpaid him 2 times, not just this last time, but the time before that. I would have personally started to franchise tag Aaron Rodgers into retirement a few years back or trade him. That would have been me personally. I would have gotten way more value for him when San Francisco was willing to give up everything in the world for Rodgers. I might have traded him then. At this point now, it becomes a guessing game of who's going to actually bite on this ridiculous contract that the Packers signed him to. Yeah. Who's going to be able to do any of that? This is something I didn't know until just this morning, guys. In order for a team to be able to trade for Aaron Rodgers before March 15th, right? Because that's when the free agency period and the franchise tag thing sort of expires and they can begin legally tampering. Before March 15th, if Aaron Rodgers does get traded, the team that acquires him has to have $60 million in open cap space for at least 1 day in order to take on his contract and rework him. There aren't a lot of teams with $60 million in open cap space right now. A few of them include the Chicago Bears, who, again, might be drafting Cocaine Bear as opposed to this kid from Georgia, or trying to trade this pick to, again, whomever they can get the highest value from. Rodgers and his contract, it's not the fault of the front office in the way that you would blame somebody for it, but I do see, Jeff, what you're talking about. I think that the front office, the ownership group, if we can, of Mark Murphy and company, is basically hamstrung by Rodgers in certain ways because of what he means to Packer fans, or at least what he meant. I don't know if it's the same today as it was 3 years ago. I would venture that it isn't. But at the time, I think they were pretty much put in between a rock and a hard place.
Well, and it also starts with what they did or didn't do with Jordan Love, to be honest with you, because there's another thing that created that entire rift with Aaron Rodgers, if you want to ask my opinion, because once Jordan Love basically was drafted,
sure,
Aaron Rodgers became a little more of a pissy pants type of guy, just was always bitching about something, finding himself, wanting to know if he wants to come back. Where is he doing his ayahuasca or whatever?
Ayahuasca.
I agree with you, and this is where I came up. If they had one owner that they could just blame it on, you know how Jim Irsay might be the craziest fuck out there, but at least he'll take the blame for whatever happened to Peyton Manning. The Packers don't have that, and the ownership group and the way that everybody's golden ticket when it comes to fans kind of makes them more fanatics than the fans. And that's where Aaron Rodgers came in. Same thing with Brett Favre. These guys were there. They're idols, obviously, to many generations of Green Bay Packer fans, but he has really, really stepped on this franchise moving forward. It's going to be hard to see what goes happen. Supposedly, Schefter came out and said that the Carolina Panthers called and asked about trading for him yesterday. Whether or not that's basically going to happen or just blowing smoke. There's a lot of people coming out in the draft. This kid from Florida State is moving up the quarterback. So there could be 3 quarterbacks going at the top of the draft already. A lot of trading down. Who knows what's going to happen? But Aaron's going to have to make a decision pretty soon. And then Derek Carr will follow along with everybody else.
Yeah, I wonder if Derek Carr is going to actually be, if the Derek Carr sweepstakes don't end before the Rodgers sweepstakes do. At certain junctures, NFL teams are going to just start to make another move and pivot. And this is something that we probably can't overlook or overstress enough. When we were talking to John Papadopoulos yesterday here on the show, and then when we talked to him, I talked to him later in the afternoon on ESPN 105.5 on his show, The Sports Lead, we got back into the Rodgers conversation a bit. And when you really start to break down, again, what I mentioned, the $60 million that a team's going to need to take him on, the kind of compensation that the Packers might want back for Aaron Rodgers, the destination in which Rodgers might want to go, this thing might not work out for Aaron Rodgers to go anyplace else but the Green Bay Packers or home, right? If he wants to retire and sit out a year or something, have the Packers eat this contract and sit on this money for a season, could he come back in another season? It's been done before. I mean, not with a quarterback like that sat out a year and then come back, but I suppose it's been done before. I'd have to look it up.
He signed the contract, just show up and play.
Well, it makes me sort of recalibrate and say, shit, at the end of the day, there really isn't a whole lot of good options for Rodgers except for the Packers.
Yeah.
There really isn't.
Well, and he did it to him. He, by signing that contract.
Well, they did it to themselves too.
They did, yes. 100. It's a combined effort for both of these groups, the ownership group and Aaron Rodgers, and you both have strapped the Packers franchise for this year.
Yeah, listen, it's interesting. The Packers, from what we have talked about this week with pretty much everybody that we've had on, Joe DeGuano on Monday, to a lesser degree, Matt Janis, but Mike Schmidt in specific on Wednesday, yesterday with John Papadopoulos, it seems that every one of the folks that knows Packers football and knows how this front office likes to operate is not truly concerned about what the cap number is for this year, irrespective of how large it seems, right? So that makes me feel that the Green Bay Packers, who are obviously a little closer to this situation than even our insiders, are probably saying to themselves, we've got a pretty decent thing here. We do have a quarterback in-house. If Rodgers doesn't want to come back, fine. We can move on to Jordan Love. We feel pretty good. I think that if Rodgers does come back and he starts to suck it up or say he's not participating the way that the Green Bay Packers need him to participate, he's not running the offense the way that the Green Bay Packers need him to run the offense, I don't think that there's going to be a huge hesitation anymore by the fans or the coaching staff or the front office to pull this guy, because then he is in the final year of his contract and you can sit him the fuck down. Yep. You can say, hey man, this isn't working. And it's been done before. Don't forget, Joe Montana, possibly the greatest playoff quarterback, Super Bowl quarterback that there has ever been, was traded from the 49ers to the Chiefs because, well, the 49ers felt that they had a pretty dynamic backup in Steve Young that they were ready to go with. Now, Steve Young had already shown quite a bit more than Jordan Love has and had one bit more on his own than Jordan Love has, but not a ton. And it just always bears repeating that anybody in the NFL, anybody can be moved off of. Well, Peyton Manning was moved off of it by Indianapolis.
Eli Manning was moved off of by the Giants in his own way. And I mean, the other thing looking to, the division is going to be a lot stronger this coming year. Like you've said numerous times, the Bears can go out and buy a new team. The Lions are coming out to be a better team. The Vikings still have their core coming back. It could be a really tough year for Aaron Rodgers, whoever is the quarterback in Green Bay this year, in just the division alone.
Absolutely. I think that absolutely you could see that sort of a situation, that sort of a scenario, take place. You absolutely could. All right, guys, we've got a question here that's coming to us from Eric from La Crescent. Want to make sure that we hit this. We're waiting for Kyle Koelbl, One Trust Real Estate. He'll be joining the show coming up in just a few. Before we go, I want to get to this question, though. And we've got a winner that we're getting ready to draw here coming up.
Very nice.
For our latest gift certificate to the Recov. Eric from La Crescent asked this one. Well, first he says, top of the morning, happy Funky Friday, and to you too. Matt, non-sports question. Do you guys serve gyros every Thursday? DC question for you. Is it weird that I still remember the days of the week based on, no, how I used to calculate them? No, it's not, because we had Funky Friday, we had Throw It Up There Thursday, Hip Hop Hump Day, 2 for Tuesday, and My Music Monday.
I like that.
Very good. I was very creative, very clever. That's why we've got all these pieces of hardware sitting behind us right now. So, Matt, question to you. Do you serve gyros, heroes, gyros? A lot of people call them different things. On Thursdays, answer is?
Yes, sir, we do. We serve our gyros every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So you can come and check us out. We'll have them there for you. It's traditional off the spit. We make our own tzatziki sauce, nothing microwave, choice of side. So we're very proud of it.
I just wanted you to know that was the crowd cheering for you.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. Wanted to make sure that you knew that. And question for me, Eric, no, that's not weird even in the slightest bit. Not at all. All right, guys and gals, we're going to step aside, take a really brief pause. When we come back, we're going to be joined by the official real estate partner of the program, former Eagles football player, all-around great guy, Kyle Koelbl from One Trust Real Estate. We also have drawn a winner. We've got the winner randomly drawn for this week's gift card to the recovery room. Plenty left to cover. Stick around, back here in about 60 seconds. Now more than ever, if you're looking to buy or sell your first home or perhaps an investment property, you need a full-time dedicated real estate agent who is up to date on all the latest trends and analysis and is ready to give you the kind of service that you deserve. That's why the official real estate agent and the official real estate partner of the Sports Carnival is Kyle Koelbl of One Trust Real Estate. Whether you're looking to buy or sell your first home, or perhaps you are a seasoned investor, call the official real estate agent partner of the Sports Carnival, Kyle Koelbl of One Trust Real Estate.
Do you have a wedding, anniversary party, or bat mitzvah coming up in your life? Then you need Hey Duda DJ Services, featuring Neil Duda, the Midwest Eminem.
No doubt about it, I'm hammered, and that's every day. Brains are cloudy, dog.
Dropping sick beats while you enjoy your treats. No party is too big or too small. Quinceañeras, graduations, ice cream socials, or cocktail parties. Whatever the celebration, Hey Duda is rocking the foundation.
Here we go again, back with all our friends. Here comes the pain.
Neil Duda.
Welcome back, Sports Carnival, broadcasting live from the Trauma Center studio, powered by the Recovery Room. Is rolling right on with our good buddy Kyle Koelbl, One Trust Real Estate, the official real estate partner of the program, former Eagles. Well, I don't know if we just call him Swiss Army knife. We can call him defensive back, scat back. I'm sure that they had many names for you, Kyle. Pipsqueak was never one of them. They were very respectful. I know that Matt and Mike, former coaches of the Eagles, and, well, your former coaches anyways, very effusive in their praise. How are you this morning, my friend?
Better than I deserve, in the wise words of my not so popular friend Dave Ramsey. We have different opinions, but
Dave's great.
It came to me, so I said it.
Yeah, Dave's great. Dave Ramsey's awesome. I listen. If you want to cancel Dave Ramsey for being a sound fiscal conservative, that's on you, not on me. I think Dave Ramsey's great. Kyle, are you in your own darkness retreat right now this morning?
Is it a little dark or what?
No, I'm just, well, maybe a teeny bit. I was just wondering, but you're also wearing a really sporting hat. You've got a great, dark, jacket on. It looks a little dark there this morning.
You see that?
I do. Is that, oh yeah, that's One Trust Real Estate, baby. All right, Kyle, I want to touch on a couple of different things with you this morning. I appreciate you carving out time from your busy schedule. Again, I say this often, but Kyle is an exceptional real estate agent. You sold my house in Sutter it wasn't 2 actual days, but from the listing to when we actually got offers, it was 2 days. You navigated us through a really tricky Wisconsin winter. If you're thinking about buying or selling, or you want to invest in real estate, talk to this guy, Kyle. We've got a lot of fish to fry on that particular front between you, me, and Matt Ellens behind us. But for today, I want to focus our attentions on the Packers. We can touch on the Bucs a bit here, and maybe even the Badgers. But let's start with Green Bay, because the poll question this morning for our audience members is simply, who gives the Packers, in your estimation, the best shot to win a Super Bowl right now? Rodgers, Love, or another quarterback, a different quarterback? Where are you at with that?
It's Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I think everybody knows it, whether they admit it or not. That's on them. Who knows? I mean, we've seen quarterbacks come to the league that from the start are great, right? Patrick Mahomes has obviously been to 5 AFC championship games in a row, 2 Super Bowls now, I believe. or 3 in his 1-2. So not saying that Jordan Love can't do it or another quarterback that is drafted can't do it. Not that we're going to draft a new quarterback. Our chips are in on Jordan Love. But Aaron Rodgers gives us the best chance. He knows the system. He's got a good relationship with LaFleur. His offensive line likes him, I believe. It's just a matter of having the weapons around him to get them to that point. But Aaron Rodgers is the guy who's going to get them there if they want to get back. It's plain and simple in my eyes.
Well, according to Twitter, at the Sports Carney, 63% of respondents agree with you. According to our Facebook group page, 70% of respondents agree with you. And while I tend to think that, you know, the points that you're making about Rodgers are true, they're factually true. The issue I see with all of this goes to recent history and the fact that recently we haven't seen Rodgers win in the big spots in which he's needed to. He couldn't beat Detroit at home, week 17, week 18, get this team to the postseason. He couldn't win against San Francisco at home in a game that was markedly winnable. He couldn't win at home against Tampa Bay. And what we've seen in the meantime is teams like Philadelphia get to a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts. We've seen teams like the Rams win a Super Bowl with Matt Stafford, a guy that we always thought was an also-ran in the division compared to Aaron Rodgers. So those particular examples, guys, lead me down the path that you can win a Super Bowl without Aaron Rodgers. And I can't look at the recent history and not say that he has shit the bed, which he has. And that makes me want to say that another guy perhaps gives you a better opportunity to win because maybe they won't be doing, or maybe they will be doing something that Rodgers just isn't. Again, it's hard to know because we don't have that mirror to put up there, but all of the things that we just talked about make me think that it might be somebody else. Maybe it's not Love, but it might be somebody else that gives the Packers the best shot. Maybe the Rodgers thing has maybe it's just expired like bad Wisconsin cheese after too long in the sun.
I think we have some recency. I think you have some recency bias just in the last few years of that statement and believing, you know, what you're saying. I mean, look at the guy's career. I mean, what he's done for the organization. As a Packer fan, we have been beyond fortunate with regards to having a steady quarterback system the last couple decades. And so now we're getting towards the end of Aaron Rodgers' career. I believe he comes back next year. Never have an anticlimactic offseason with Aaron Rodgers. It seems like we can't just get the guy to say, hey, I'll be back next year. I don't know what the deal is with that. That's a different opinion of mine. I wish he would just put himself aside, put his beliefs aside, and just say, hey, I'm coming back. Or I want to be traded. Just get over it. You don't have to go sit in a dark room. If you want to do that and not tell people about it, fine. But I think what you're saying, I mean, it has validity to it for sure. But it also, I mean, look at the recency, right? I mean, we've been in position to get to the postseason. We've been in the postseason. But it's hard to put not getting and achieving, getting to the Super Bowl or winning the Super Bowl on one guy. Yes, you can make the argument that without Jalen Hurts, the Eagles aren't the Eagles of this year. And that was proven at the end of the year when Gardner Minshew was playing. I mean, they were horrible. They looked horrible. But I don't think it's because of the performance necessarily of Jalen Hurts. I think it's because of the energy he brings around that team when he's on the field that gets guys playing at their highest potential. That's my thought. But people are going to believe what they want to believe. And so that's what I'd have to say just off of hearing what you had to say. So.
All right, Kyle. Well, I'm going to stay in the NFL, but I'm going to switch or get off the Aaron Rodgers talk right now. Since my older brother's currently down in the combine with all the kids down there, and as Dave and I called it earlier, the pajama or underwear Olympics. Yeah. Is there anything about the combine that intrigues you?
Can't say I've ever even followed it.
Really?
Being a football guy, being a fan, playing, still being around the game, just trying to progress as an official. I can't say I've ever honestly followed the NFL Combine at all.
Do you remember your fastest 40?
Probably when I was in high school and probably in the best shape. I think I ran probably like a 4.62 or something like that.
That's not bad at all, man. That's a really good 40. It sounds like you were a fast guy.
It's not 4.3, 4.4, but
then we'd be talking about Kyle Koelbl, One Trust, actually, no, we'd be talking about Kyle Koelbl possibly on the Seattle Dragons or something now in the XFL.
That'd be awesome. Is it who's the team that AJ McCarron's playing for that Dwayne The Rock Johnson's all crazy about now because he's been just balling out.
That's right. We were talking about that while we bring up Josh Newman's comment.
First of all, I want to answer Josh's question.
Yeah.
The answer is me. Aaron
Yes.
Rodgers has a horrific swing and hits it. I'm not going to say it because that could bring up some Tiger Woods talk, but I hit the ball far, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Kyle is a near scratch golfer, which really is.
No. I'm not a near scratch golfer.
Which is
I'm a horrific golfer. I just hit the ball.
What's the handicap then, Kyle?
Can't putt.
Okay.
Putt. You know what? That's one of Matt's, like, he wanted to give you 5 random questions. Yep. We've been asking all of our guests this week 5 random questions, and we want to get to that with you. One of them that he has been asking was, what is your handicap? Like, I just mentioned that I am handicapped when it comes to golfing. I'm going to give my very best effort, but the idea of playing against or with guys like you, it's intimidating, man, because you look like fucking pros. And I've seen you out there playing, and you guys look like pros.
You haven't watched the whole 18 holes then with me. You've watched you've seen an abstract of my golf game. Yep, Josh knows it right here. Here you go.
Josh does say that Kyle is telling the truth here. He peeks at the tee box. Okay. Well, would you have a handicap if you? I mean, because what's your handicap? You have one. It's
like 15. You know,
I'm right there with you.
I would say like good amateur golfers are probably around 12 to 15. Some of those guys that are really good maybe played when they were younger, maybe a little bit below 10. But yeah, I mean, most of the guys I play with are around 15 to 20.
Where's dad at? Where's Kenny Koelbl on, former basketball coach of the Eagles?
Depends what day you ask him.
Okay, that's fair.
When he's playing with his buddies, he's a 25 handicap. Just so you can get as many strokes as you can possibly get, because a lot of his buddies are better. But when he's playing with me, I would say we're about the same. He's probably more consistent. He plays that old man golf.
So he doesn't like to hustle on the golf course as much as you, because Kyle, I think last year made 6 figures just from the golf course. This is from something I've heard around town. I
took a live tour contract.
Yes, exactly. See, well, I knew somebody from
you're probably
the area.
Playing better than Phil then right now, Kyle. So you got that going for it, because Phil Mickerson's horrible.
He's not playing better than Phil.
Me, I can tell you, me, not me. All right, so that transition point here, Kyle, into your golf game, I think, Matt, will lead us into what we like to call affectionately 5 questions. This is a new wrinkle that we've had here on the show. Like I've mentioned, we put it to everybody, DeGuano and Janice and Schmidt, even John Papadopoulos from ESPN yesterday. So, Matt, where do you want to go with young Mr. Koelbl here?
I'll go with a couple of the same questions, just because it seems like the common theme right now, Kyle, especially with the older guys, is there seems to be a very big fear of heights. So if you had one choice and you had to pick one, are you bungee jumping off of a bridge or parachuting out of an airplane?
Did you ask Mike Schmidt this question?
Yep. You did. Yeah.
I didn't see it. What did he say?
He had chose a parachute for the tandem aspect.
Same thing with Janice. Same thing. Both of them very afraid of heights. Yep. Very afraid.
So what were my 2 options?
You're either bungee jumping off of a bridge or jumping out of an airplane with a parachute.
I'm going bungee jumping. I think that'd be awesome.
Wow, I think that's the first one of the week so far.
That's the first one. I think of it like this. I would try, if I had to, like do the bungee jumping or jumping out of the airplane, I would do the tandem jump, only because if that thing's not working, I'm going to use that person as like a body brace to try to break my fall.
I don't think that's going to work.
I'm going to try. I'm going to try. If the bungee thing breaks, I'm just falling into like a river rapid, and that's it. I'm gone.
You ever stepped on a bug before, Dave?
Yes.
That's what you're going to look like on the ground, regardless if you got somebody tandem with you.
I've seen people jump out of airplanes and fall on the ground, and they didn't splatter like I thought they would. I don't know why that is, but they didn't splatter like I thought they would. So anyways, all right, moving on.
All right,
moving on.
Yep. Sorry, I was going to go with this one because we're talking about your athletic ability and, how you played and everything else. What would be your spiritual animal, Kyle?
Ooh, what's your spirit animal? That's a good one.
My spirit animal.
It's a good interview question for when I'm doing bartending.
Some people that are watching will love this because they'll get this, but I would say an eagle, and I would call it an eager eagle.
A what now? An eager eagle?
Eager eagle. Yep.
Okay. Getting after it, not eating in the trash bins where most eagles can be found. You're getting after some wild prey, is what you're saying.
Or the charismatic chameleon. One of those.
Okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
I was gonna say like my spirit animal is a cat because I'm all about that. Oh, never mind. We can't say that. That's not something. All right, go ahead.
Well, you probably can actually, but
We
let's
can.
just not go down there. All right, Kyle. How many Nickelback songs can you name?
Oh God.
Oh, I
this is
like this.
bad. I can't even name any.
Well, that's good then. How many can you sing along to?
Gosh, anybody watching now should just tear me apart because I know so many, but it's one of those things when you put me on the spot, I can't think of any. I'm gonna go 0.
All right. Well, then how about this? What's your go-to karaoke? What's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, that's easy. Not necessarily a karaoke song, but it just makes me remind me of some times down at Shooters late at night, listening to just some Blink 182. A lot of those songs. And Blink 182. You put that on a karaoke machine, I'm ripping it.
All right.
I can only imagine how lame the music was in the locker room when Janice and Koelbl were there because Matt was just, all about Blink 182.
Well, I was going to ask him what his locker room songs were, but now I already know what those are too. So I guess, Kyle, what's your favorite non-sports movie then? I'll get you out of there on this last one from me, buddy.
Non-sports movie. I would say any kind of psychological thriller. One that comes to head would be Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey.
Very good movie.
Very good movie.
Very thought-provoking. Very interesting theories. Interesting theories in that movie.
And we got AJ McCarron is at the St. Louis Battlehawks, gentlemen.
Okay. Right. There you go.
The Rock loves him. Loves him. Took less money.
Wanted to play for his kid, I believe. Yep.
Got 3-0, I believe.
Yep. I believe so. Yeah. And the Vegas Vipers 0-2. They will be looking for their first win coming up in week 3. By the way, Jason P1 Breacher wanted to throw this up when we were talking about Nickelback. I didn't get to it quick. He said, don't answer. Nickelback is a profiling question. That's true. That is very true. I felt the same thing. And Nickelback not nearly cool enough for Kyle Koelbl to be listening to. I probably would know a few of their songs as well if they came on, right? Like if it just popped on the jukebox or if it came on at the bar, I'd probably know them too.
I don't know why Leader of Men just came in my head. Hopefully I'm not singing that the rest of the day like I had the other.
God.
Yep.
I just looked up a couple.
Yeah.
And honestly, don't even recognize some of the names. But if I start playing them, I bet you I could start singing with them.
Yeah.
Just don't have them in your head all day.
Well, like We Will Rock You. Yeah, I mean, I know that one. I don't know, just a couple of these. I'm just like, I don't even recognize that. But if I listen to it, I'd probably be able to sing it.
Yeah.
I'm bad with stuff like that.
That's the way that Nickelback goes. You don't realize that you don't hate them as badly as you thought you did until you hear the song. And you're like, wait, that's right. I didn't hate them as bad as I thought I did.
Even Blink 182 songs, I don't even think I could rattle any kind of names off there too. But again, if you played one, I'd start singing to it.
All the small things, their only hit, their only claim to fame. All the small things.
I could sing that one, yeah.
I'm sure you could. Everybody can, Kyle. That's why I thought that couldn't be a hit.
That's why it's a good karaoke song.
Because literally,
if you can't sing all the small things, what are you doing? Your life sucks.
Listen, even Helen Keller pulled that one off when she was doing karaoke one time. It was fascinating. Boy. It was fascinating to watch. Kyle, I appreciate you very much, my friend. Again, the official real estate partner of the program, Kyle Koelbl, One Trust Real Estate, buying, selling, or investing in real estate, which is something that I'm going to be getting into here more and more in the next year and a half. You want to go talk to Kyle about this. He'll help you out with all the market trends, current conditions, analysis of your home. Perhaps you're just looking for a valuation of your house. Kyle can help you out with that too. As always, appreciate your support. Appreciate your insight coming on here. I disagree with you on Rodgers versus Love, but you made some great points, and it gives me something to chew on, which I'll begin doing at 11 down at the Recov because I'm going to be behind the bar for lunch today. So
thanks, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks, boys. Hey, real quick before you let me go, Badgers basketball season over.
Yeah, it's done. It's done. I know we ran up against it. They lose to Purdue. Both men and women lost by 2 points last night. It was sad.
Wasn't surprised, but
go Marquette.
Yeah, Marquette and Milwaukee. The
Yeah,
Panthers
Marquette,
too.
Milwaukee.
All right, Kyle, we'll talk to you
Yeah.
soon, buddy. Yep, and we'll be back with a little announcement here on the Sports Carnival. Who won our gift certificate to the Recov? Preferred Insurance is the official auto, home, business, flood, and life insurance agency of the Sports Carnival, serving folks in La Crosse and surrounding areas with licenses in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Iowa. As an independent insurance agency, Preferred Insurance is free to find the very best insurance for you, your family, or your business needs. Call my friends at Preferred Insurance today and set up a free consultation. Remember, working with an independent agency means Preferred Insurance works for you, with you, to find the best solutions at the best prices.
Hello, I am Don Francisco, and I roast and blend coffees for your pleasure and mine. My newest blend is Vanilla Nuts. The coffee so rich and so sweet, it tastes like the French Alps has dangled its in your cup of java. If you love coffee like I do, then you'll love Don Francisco's with a 135-year tradition. Because at Don Francisco's, if you're up all night, so are we.
It is a funky Friday here on the Sports Carnival, broadcasting live from the Trauma Center studios, saying what's up to our friends Sean O'Neill at the O'Neill Law Firm, downtown La Crosse, bankruptcy, family, criminal law, and BetUS. BetUS.com. Enter promo code Carnival. Get yourself 125% free play money on deposit. You can see that scrolling along the bottom of your screen now. Thank you so much, guys, for being part of the show. Again, I've mentioned this a number of times throughout the day. We're gonna be opening up today at the Recov 11 o'clock. We've got a great Friday in store. It's gonna be like 45 degrees. The sun is mostly shining today.
The snow is melting.
It feels like springtime out, and I realize that it's not over yet. We're only in March. I get it. But we've already gotten past one of the worst months of the entire year, if not the worst month of the entire year here in Wisconsin, and that is February. So this afternoon, we've got spicy traditional Euro, your choice aside, $14. We've also got a fantastic Friday fish special, Cajun. You can get it grilled or you can get it batter fried with a side and a dinner roll. This, of course, is for Lent. Last week, I saw a number of people get that fish special. It was fantastic looking. Open at 11 o'clock. Come on down and see me. I'll be behind the bar helping you out through this afternoon. And again, getting you, I would say, lubricated for a really big weekend. We've got Bucks basketball tomorrow on ABC, nationally televised spot, 7:30 p.m. versus the Sixers. The Bucks are on a 16-game winning streak. Giannis, to me, is the MVP. It looks like Jokic is probably going to win his third consecutive MVP, but I digress. Big weekend for Wisconsin sports. If you like the Bucks, I know the Milwaukee Panthers are continuing on in the Horizon League playoffs right now, or at least their conference championship. They had a big win last night. So there are things when you think about Wisconsin sports, Brewers spring training, even though they're not winning right now, that are actually really important, really fun, and impactful.
Baseball's actually fun to watch.
It's getting there with the pitch clock. Yep. It even brought in some people that yesterday at the bar were like, I don't even like baseball. And I said, watch this pitch clock. And for about 5 minutes, we got a captive audience, which baseball needs.
There's so many more runs already this spring, just because there's no more shifts. The pitch clock's in there.
That's a good point too.
It's just fun. It's more fun to watch. There's less, I don't want to call it hanky-panky, but there's just, you're in and out of the box. Just get your shit together and get it out there. Now, it might screw up with a couple of the Latin guys because I know they love their flair and they love, especially the pitchers. It might take them a little bit longer to get up there. There's also limited walk-up songs now, so it's changed a lot. They're trying to speed up the game, and baseball desperately needed something to reinvigorate this game.
Yeah, I think that their work isn't done yet. Of course, they're going to have to look at things from a pretty holistic perspective if they want to survive in the coming 100 years. Now, it's not going to be baseball's death signal for the next 10 years or 20 years even, but there is going to have to be some pretty drastic changes as the times they just keep on a changing. And for what that's worth, I think that they're on at least a good trajectory right now. Baseball purists probably disagree. I'd love to get Bob Ibeck on the show at some point too, to get his thoughts on this. But either way, they need to make changes. And at least for what I saw, in a small sample size yesterday with the guy again at the bar who said he didn't like baseball, this got his attention for at least a few minutes. Now, what else has gotten our attention this week is another entry to win a $20 gift certificate to the Recovery Room. I was really happy that in week one, DJ Neil Duda picked up a victory. Last week we had Matt Eagle McBride, who turned out to be one of the luckiest sons of bitches in the entire world for a week. Exactly. Well, this week, it's another one of our P1 fan club. It's Jason P1 Breacher who has won the $20 gift card. Breacher got all 3 entries, meaning he went to our Facebook page, went to our YouTube page, and also went to our Twitter feed. You had to do 3 of these things. Well, you didn't have to do them all, but each of those particular actions gave you another entry. Jason went and did all of those, same as Eagle, same as Neil Duda. So the more actions that you take on these sweepstakes, the more chances you have to win. And Breacher did all 3 of those things. Congratulations, buddy. We'll have your gift certificate waiting for you downstairs at the recovery room whenever you'd like to come pick it up. Not sure what you're doing today, but if we happen to see you, I'll be more than glad to pass over that gift certificate to you. Very excited.
Or you could just use it when you come in today, man, if you want. So, hey.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, you could, be happy to see if you want to use it today. That's awesome too. Again, great food specials. And, yesterday we had a really lively crowd. It seems like the weather, Matt, when you get 40 degrees, it's early March, you start to get the real spring feelings.
It's almost short skirt season. That's for short and skirt season. I didn't.
I know. I think you did.
Yeah,
maybe
say I did a little
skirt
bit.
Season.
Yeah,
That's
we're
fine.
getting there. It's fine.
We're getting there. I can't wait until the patio's open. I really can't.
Oh, you can always tell when it gets warmer because when the kids start going to the turbo and the clothes are definitely they're not as wearing the jackets and a little bit more summer in there and a little more pep in the step, and spring's right around the corner.
So is that one of the things that keeps you feeling young? Is that you live right down the street from Viterbo and you got this great bar?
Now I feel like an old man every day because I'm like, God dang it, I have to card these kids because they look like they're 12, but they're 21. So, yeah,
it was interesting.
We're young at heart, brother. We're young at heart.
Last night, went downstairs after I got off and was saying hi to some folks, and John ends up coming down, my son, from upstairs, and he's like, well, I just want to grab some food. So we do. He gets himself, I want to say it was a Kentucky bourbon burger with curly fries. Very good choice there. Long and short of it, I'm watching him sit across the bar, and he's 18 from some of these other patrons, and even some people we had behind the bar. And I'm like, fuck, dude, these kids do look young, don't they?
Yes,
I mean, they look like my kid, which really gave me a halting pause because, see, when I think of myself, Matt, when I think of myself in my own mind's eye, I'm like 19 still. Like, I realize I'm older and I've done things and I've got some experience, but I still feel in a lot of ways like I was 19, like I still feel as fun. I still feel as active. I'm probably in better physical shape than I was when I was a kid because we didn't think about things like nutrition and water and even at that point I was done with high school, so I wasn't exercising the same way. So I feel like I'm probably in better physical shape. I told somebody last night the big difference for me between 19 and 42 is that while all of those things might be true from the appearance standpoint, motherfucker, I feel every day. I feel the 42. That's the thing. I've already stretched this morning. I've done my yoga roller. I'm still going to have to hit the massage gun at some point. And I came off a massage last night, which was very good, very relaxing. But it takes almost it takes a full scale effort now to keep this bad boy rolling. Well, that's what I notice about being older.
I don't know if men ever truly grow up. I still feel like I'm 25, even though I think I'm going to be 44. I can't even remember. I can't keep track of all that stuff anymore. Yeah, so inside my heart and inside my head, I know I can still hang it with a lot of these people at 25. But yeah, there's certain days where you feel all of your age in the morning. That's for sure. Especially when it's cold outside.
For me, the cold definitely doesn't help. I will say that the cold doesn't help. I'm acclimating more and more as I get more years under my belt here in Wisconsin. There is something about your blood thickening.
Oh, yeah.
They say. Rob Dog from Stoddard did want to check in, and I just want to caution you not to get too close behind him when they're in those short skirts there, Rob. You don't want to give him the wrong idea, but he does say, Matt, that he can get behind the short skirt season on those girls. And hey, listen, if you're a fella and you want to wear a short skirt too, no problem. Oktoberfest is there for you. Also, St. Patrick's Day is coming up. We don't talk about the skirts that they wear in Scotland and Ireland, often the kilts, right?
Or the lederhosen for German. Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Kind of a skirt.
That's shorts. They're short pants. But listen, harder to get into, I would imagine. But Rob, if you want to wear a skirt too, I don't begrudge you that at all. And P12 Foreman's up and at it this morning and saying he feels old too. Foreman, fuck, bro, you're like the bionic man. You've had more surgeries than I think Joe Montana has. I would feel old if I were you too. Absolutely. Even though he says, as he follows up here, Most of his parts are new.
$10 million man or whatever.
The $6 million man. Yeah, yep, remember that? I asked his wife, Ashley, how she felt about Foreman becoming an actual cyborg, because I told her, look, at some point he's going to need a surgery. The VA is going to be like, well, guess what? We're experimenting on you, because that's what happens when you sign up for the military. You get a chance to give your life twice, once in the war or whatever, the conflict, and then the second time as a patient of the VA.
He's got to be fun to go through with, like, in the airplane, like going through the metal detectors.
Yes.
He's got to be fun as hell with that type of shit.
Yes, indeed. And then finally, Jason P1 Breacher asks, what time do you start today, Dave? Buddy, I start exactly at the time in which the recovery room is open. That is going to be 11 o'clock. I've also got to go pick up my car from Arden's around the corner, so we better get out of here. Matt, have a great rest of your morning, buddy. I guess I'll be seeing you in about an hour and 56 minutes.
I'll have the bar set up for you, brother, and I'll be hanging out with you. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a good weekend. We'll see you next Monday.
Yeah, see you maybe later today, Breach.
Yeah.